Brilliance Audio presents When You Knew by Jamie Beck, performed by Siiri Scott. Colic. According to Merriam-Webster, a condition marked by recurrent episodes of prolonged and uncontrollable crying and irritability in an otherwise healthy infant that is of unknown cause and usually subsides after 3 to 4 months of age. According to me, karmic payback for reneging on my offer to let Hunter and Sarah adopt my baby. Colt had been screaming all evening, as usual. Colic, they said, although labeling it did nothing at all to help Gentry's infant son or her to live with the never-ending fussing. No amount of soothing, bouncing, rocking, or walking quieted him if his eyes were open. Alone, and on the verge of a nervous breakdown, Gentry questioned her sanity. Her thoughts slid like quicksilver, fueling the stress headache pulsating behind her eyes. Her son's screeching response to the doorbell, which echoed off the vaulted ceiling and plate glass windows, didn't help. With her unhappy child bristling in her arms, Gentry raced across the living room, sidestepping a growing stack of unread parenting magazines, to reach the door before the visitor rang again. If she'd actually succeeded in getting Colt to sleep this evening, she might have shot the fool on the other side of her door for having risked waking him. In fact, she might shoot him anyway, just because it had been that kind of day and her frustration needed a target. She flung her door open, baby pressed to her chest, and gawked at her half-brother, Hunter. "You—" Hunter and his wife, Sarah, stood there against the backdrop of a dusky summer sunset. Wide eyes and slack jaws contrasted with their elegant Saturday night attire. Were they stunned by her impolite greeting, or by her shabby appearance? Probably both, she conceded. Seconds ticked by before Hunter found his voice. "You're alive." "Depends on your definition." Gentry retreated into the house, knowing they'd follow, even though she hadn't invited them to visit. She couldn't shoo them away, but she didn't want them to see her strung out, either. Expecting Gentry to fail was something of a Cabot family tradition. For most of her life, she'd been happy to live down to their expectations. In rare moments of self-honesty, she could admit that, at times, she'd even turned it into a game. An immature dynamic, for sure, but one that hurt less than being ignored or than trying and failing. She didn't, however, want to be seen as a failure of a mother, especially not by them.